Hello everyone. I didn't know what to talk about. I was going to do a women are idiots video. But I'm just going to buy a leg rope, so I'm going for a little walk from the gym. Oh geez, you feel the heat in this car park straight away. It is Australia. So I was going to do a little MGTOW video, but I'm going to say I've got nothing when I do, but it's some of it's just the obvious repeat stuff. So let's get into an apocalypse video. I think everyone will enjoy that. It's pretty rare. You know what? It's very interesting seeing YouTube catching up on all my videos. Like, I'm seeing prominent channels and they all got more view than me. Way more view. And people are not exactly stealing my ideas, but they are indeed finally coming after the themes. Not my particular exact idea, but the general theme, like the apocalypse, like NPCs, right? People are going for health a lot. So I think a lot of people have covered my channel and the website by now, even if they're not subscribed. And don't laugh, because I've come across a lot of channels who are big channels who left comments on my videos. You know, 1 million views channels, you know what I mean? So I know people are watching my videos for a fact. I'm not like being arrogant and making it up. I know it because they comment, I know who they are. I'm not going to name all these names and all that, but... So, I recently made a video. I said, you know, I already live in infamy because when I started, nobody was even talking about this theme. So, you know, NPC, organic portals, nobody was even talking about it. There was barely any videos on YouTube, and now it's everywhere, especially the NPC thing. But I've also seen the apocalypse theme suddenly, and my views are getting up on the playlist a little bit. It's only a couple hundred, so you know, you guys, some of you might think, oh, as if anybody's watched them, that matters. Well, I don't want to name some channel names, but I already know it's because of my influence. And I know this because I understand how YouTube works. That's one of the reasons I was so gung-ho into the NPC thing, because I already knew, right, this is YouTube, it's full of gamers, this is going to take off at some point, right, because the idea is kind of sprung from there. You play Call of Duty and you figure out there's all these NPCs. Anyway, so people are starting to talk about the apocalypse. It's very interesting, and I'm definitely going to say that I've had an involvement in it. It's very easy to think just because I don't have 100,000 views that nobody's looking at it. But like I said, it's very interesting. I've seen some comments from more prominent channels than me and everything, you know what I mean? Like, way bigger channels, and it surprised me. So I'm telling you guys, you know, it is actually happening. Anyway, to the lecture. So I've stated that, so listen up, because I'm fucking talking on the apocalypse again. So now it is only apocalypse energy. The eschaton is finished. So what does it all mean? That's what I should be talking about in this video. Remember I said from 2012 to 2089 is the apocalypse. 7 times, which is the Jesus number, 11, which is renewal, solar cycles. So 7 times 11 11-year solar cycles, right? We know that from science, and my point is they're renewal cycles. So all this shit's going to be destroyed. All of society is toppling. You see that worldwide. Now I'm in Australia. We're in a very unique position. I'm telling you, it's like number one. That's in the southern hemisphere, and then North America in the northern hemisphere. But I'm telling you, for some reason, because of our unique position, Australia's going to be in some way in a very high position, in the first position. Now I'm wondering if this is going to come about like, oh, suddenly we have food plants everywhere. I don't know how it's going to come about yet, but I already know that we're in that position. I just can't see because I don't know, because there's so many people, you know what I mean, involved. There's 20 million people here. I don't know who's going to make what decision. I can have a few guesses. Like I said, you know, it might be suddenly they figure out to plant food plants. That would be us leading the world then. If all these plants here, they turned into all food plants, that would be an example of what I'm talking about as Australia in the lead. As a way shower, right? We hold the key in the Southern Hemisphere. North America holds the key to the New World in the Northern Hemisphere, to turning that key and turning into the New World. So remember though, we've already got the destruction going on. Like, look around you. The whole Middle East, Europe's almost got nuked. Europe still could get nuked. It hasn't ended yet. You know what I mean? Russia's just slaughtering 1 million people, and basically you can just see bombs ripping up societies. Obviously Gaza is just the best example ever, but it's been happening everywhere, right? Middle East as a region, even the same thing, like a really good example. But we can see it happening, for instance, even in America, not with war, but civil war. And that, remember I said in 2025, as soon as this market drops, and it might be happening now that Trump got in, because usually when you trade shares, you sell on the news, you hype up, the rally goes up, and then you sell on the news. So I'm expecting the market to crash. All the fundamentals say it should be already crashing. Hang Seng, you know, Chinese market's already down to 2008 lows. The global financial crisis, and it just went off a cliff if you look at the chart. So we're waiting for America, you know, then all the Occidental cultures are gonna get smashed as well. And then it begins, the resonance of the apocalypse. See, right now it's only months. I really think it's only months still to go, but we're still in this little bubble. After this bubble of history, you know, because the end of the eschaton, history ended in 2012. Now the eschaton's finished, 2000 to 2024, 12 years on either side, 2012 at the middle. Then we had the overlap. The apocalypse started in 2012. So it's overlapping with the eschaton, but the eschaton's now finished. But that's also why the eschaton felt like a down trip. I always said the eschaton was like a psychedelic trip. After 2012 was the come down. It's like we've been coming down. If you haven't, and you don't know what I'm talking about, that energy, get the fuck off the channel. You are an organic portal. I'm 100% sure, because you just missed the end of fucking human history. So I know for sure you're an NPC. There's no way that you could have a higher enlightened soul and have missed the eschaton. Now you might not have known about it, but you should have felt it. You might not have researched it, but you should have felt it. You see what I'm saying? That's why even some people, not just even my videos, let's pretend I don't exist, and they did just make the videos just because they felt it. I think that's another reason why some people are starting to make apocalypse videos. It's sneaking its way in there as a resonance, because people are picking up on that resonance. And resonances travel through time. They're not just stagnant, remember, in one spot in time. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to be brutal. Some things I've said are, in the next 50 years, I think all corporations, which are fictitious soulless entities, all corporations are going to be banned. Because they have this power in the eyes of the law over humans even. We're eventually going to figure this shit out. And it's because they're destroying nature so much, and there's not much of the nature left. All these things are going to come to a head in this apocalyptic cycle. Right, we're going to have to stop cutting the Amazon. There's going to be big fights. I said every country will go to civil war. Because what we have is two types of people. I know there's three from the Gnostic text: NPC, organic portal, and pneumatics or self-spirited humans with the light body. But I bunch organic portals and NPCs together for the ease of talking about it, because they're both not with a higher soul or an enlightened spiritual body called the mental spirit light body, multi-dimensional light body. They're only in these lower dimensions. I've talked about neg souls, all this. I'm not going to differentiate it all again, but that's the basics. That's why I just say there's two types of people. I just group them all up. I know the organic portals are psychic, the NPCs are not. And, you know, we have magic, by the way. Anyway, my point is, there's two types of people battling against each other. And most of these people are in the power positions because the world is upside down. It's the old world. In the new world, we've got to turn everything the opposite way. For instance, it shouldn't be who you know that gets you a job, it should be what you know. So I should be fucking employed right now. Anyway, everything else I said on the Conscious Zine 2012, post 2012 page, families doing psychedelics. Yep, so they actually heal together. All the other posts on there, on that page, in Conscious Zine, the website, on 2012, post 2012 page. All of those points, I can't remember everything I wrote there 10 years ago. But it's funny I was correct about everything, isn't it interesting? It's just because some things haven't come to pass. Like, we haven't made it to the psychedelic, families doing psychedelics together. You know what I mean? There's a picture there that I have on the page. We haven't made it there yet, but it's coming. Because what we've got now is, ooh, psychedelics are drugs, and they've just gone crazy on the banning. They're like, all right, we'll let them smoke some cannabis, even though cannabis is a psychedelic. The fucking idiots. They just think it's a depressant here in Australia, the government. So that's my point. Like, the government, you know, they've ruined cannabis. It's, you know, I'm on the medical from the government, and it's got steroid A and steroid B in it. And the hormonal crash, I'm on it right now, by the way. The crash, I mean, I've run out, I've got 2 days to my pay. The last 2 days of every fortnight, I crash. And it's hardcore, it's very hormonal crash. I get pissed off at everything. But luckily, because I know it, you know, I can control it due to awareness. This higher awareness and this observational ability above your emotions, which it seems organic portals don't have the ability to even do. That's a mental spirit light body act. Anyway, so my point is, you know, I've talked about how there's going to be layers. My point is, it's only apocalypse energy now. So there's going to be these layers of destruction. One layer is, you know, border dissolution, and what do we have? Mass migration. I mean, I've talked about this stuff for over 10 years now, and it's right in our face. It's definitely all happening. So I don't know why more of you are not sharing my videos. But you know what? People, like, I'm 100% sure of this, by the way. Police, I think maybe even government officials or something, I think it's feds, they watch my channel for the whole time it's been up, and before I even got to Uruguay. Right? Back in, when I was just doing Conscious Zine, the website. So, like I said, these people changed laws because of me. When I ran into that, or that kid ran into me, on the bike, they started doing stuff, and you know, I was filming the ladies with all the dogs. They made dog walking necessarily needed to be on a leash now, and I just know how they work. They are watching. You know, they don't want to let you know. It's funny, none of these gang stalkers comment on my videos anymore, because I've slaughtered them all over the years in one sentence replies. They've just realized their level of intelligence, like, can't even get near me. It's so funny. Remember that chief handler, stuff, people like that? They used to always comment on the channel. All their narcissistic comments and shit. It was stupid. Anyway, so it's going to layer up. Border dissolution or immigration is one of them. You're not going to get rid of it. Doesn't matter who you vote in, Trump and Elon Musk and Alex Jones, the dream team. This shit is like a fucking clown show, bro. At least they're making an effort. But anyway, I'm gonna go back here. But yeah, that's my point. This stuff's gonna layer up. See, because I know now, I have the ability to help you. That's the point of these videos. They're meant to be very helpful. You're meant to set yourself up now so that you can either have a barrier to these things. Like one layer is going to be cyber attacks. I've mentioned that before. What do we have just this year? Finally, I said that years ago. Finally, we had a 3 billion people breach. 3 billion. Now that's a cyber attack. That's almost everybody on the internet. There's only like 4 billion people online. And it's almost fucking everyone. It's like Adobe got hacked or something almost, you know. Adobe's on 3 billion machines. Now, I forget which company did it, because I think it was actually a person who made a mistake or something, allegedly. I don't think it was an AI, because I presumed it was an AI at the outset when I saw the first article come out, 3 billion hack. Anyway, look, my point is, like, you know, you might shield yourself from that by going offline, going to live in the jungle. You know, maybe you want to move to a different place to avoid the mass immigration, maybe in, for instance, USA. You know what I mean? Maybe you come move to Australia because it's just not going to happen here. Even though we've got a big border to patrol, it just seems a lot harder for people to rush in here, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands at a time. So I really don't think Australia's going to face the immigration thing as bad as everywhere else in the world. But yeah, there's all these layers, right? Then there is the sun. The sun is changing. We had the eschatonal supermoons. There will be apocalyptic moons. You know, there's all these cycles. But remember, the biggest thing to remember is that it's about destruction. So you've got to try and anticipate, are you in the party? Are you part of the group that is being destroyed? Because as an eschatonal apotheote, I know I'm not. It may touch me, but it's not just that I have like a magic spiritual shield around me. That too, right? But I can't mention that, because then everybody who doesn't is going to be like, oh, he's crazy. So I didn't even mention it. Nothing to do with a spiritual shield, don't worry about it. Then there's magnecy. If I take my shoes off, I'm connected. I just have a different kind of magnetic guidance to people. You know what I mean? People don't know where the fuck they're going. They're literally listening to society and then just doing that. Get a house, get a car, get married, have the kids. You know what I mean? But people are breaking this cycle, right? And that's very important, because you might have broken out of a cycle where you were on the destruction party, in the group of those who are going to be destroyed. All their lives are just going to crumble. It could be that the cyclone wipes out their house, like we've seen in Florida recently, in USA. So it depends what God's plan or the AI's plan is for you. I can't tell you. I can have a few guesses. We can do a consultation. Oh, you live in so-and-so Tornado Alley. Maybe you want to get out of there. You know what I mean? Earthquakes are going to pick up, etc., etc. Maybe you don't want to live next to Yellowstone. You know what I mean? Like, so this is how we're going to have to navigate the apocalypse. It's very likely that you're going to be affected terribly. And in Australia, we can't see this yet at all. If I didn't know any of this and I just was here in Australia, back from Uruguay, I would just think, oh, they're just third world countries. There's no apocalypse. They're just third world countries. They're just shit. That's what I'd be thinking, but I know better. I know that it's beginning in the third world countries just because they're weaker. They don't have the same shielding and unique positions as somewhere like Australia or America. For instance, US has the benchmark currency, the US dollar, right? That's going to be fucking helpful. You see what I'm saying? They ain't Argentina, who's defaulted on their debt, who's just gone into hyperinflation, just like Venezuela. They're not that. They're not ever going to be that unless the dollar crashes. You know what I mean? So yeah, we have sorts of shielding. But like I said, the apocalypse will knock on everybody's door. And I thought the Maui fires were a really good example because they're all Maui rich people and shit. And still their kids fucking went missing, and still they didn't get the alerts, and still their homes got destroyed for the elites, and so on and so forth. So that's why I use it as an example now. It's just a good example of my earlier quote, which is the apocalypse is going to knock on every single door and say, hi, how you going? I'm the apocalypse. I'm here to fuck shit up. Make sure, you know, it's a purification to make sure you're purified. Fifth dimensional, third dimensional Earth is, this dichotomy is not just from above coming down. You need to see it like the toroid coming from within outward, and that it's more like, you know, the outward part is a dark veil that's being pierced. That dark veil includes you as well, not just in a worldly sense, but you and your ego, right, as well. And it's not your ego. That's wrong of me to say, but I have to say that to talk to you guys in your terms. I call them now more accurately the ego devils, and everybody has them, and you cannot avoid them. But there's going to be a type of purification, just like when you know, we went through the eschaton, the middle of it, I mean, into the, you know, the up thrust from say 2000 to 2012, or basically from that even smaller cycle 2009 where the transcendence started, all the way into the actual eschatonal center of 2012. It was the trip, you know, when you take a mushroom or ayahuasca or whatever. That was it coming on. That's why I had so many visions that were so intense, right? And like I said, now we've gone in the down, like the come down after. But now we're not going to get that anymore. Yes, you're getting codes, visions and stuff, but notice how everything is less intense. Normality has returned for us because we did surf the eschaton. For them, they never left normality. And now novelty is just, because they didn't realign with novelty, now novelty is just going to like crush them. Novelty has a lot to do with apocalypting. Apocalypting means to uncover something, and novelty is, you know, this quality of not just newness. It's always weird. It is what it is. It's novelty. It's something new, and often simulacra. The word concrescence and simulacra can be associated. So yeah, anyway, my point is, you know, they're all going to get crushed. Their normality is going to break. Our new normality is not the same normality of the mundane plane as theirs. Our normality is novelty now, because we did ride the eschaton. So you see what I'm saying? We are surfing, they're laying on the shore waiting for the wave to crash on their head. That might be a decent analogy. So it's like they're asleep on the shore and the wave is just going to come crash on their head. They're in the normality sleep on the shore, and the waves of novelty and apocalypse are just going to crash them. That's most people. About 60% are walking themselves into self-destruction via ignorance, via that they never left the mundane, the linearity, and so on, the habitual. That's the most important part. They never left the habitual. Because remember, the time wave zero is habit versus novelty. And it's ended, we're in maximum novelty, and because they're still they're not admitting to it, they're not recognizing that, a lot of these people, it's like they're just smooth sailing, but the ocean's getting rougher and rougher and rougher and rougher. And they haven't set up their little skip to take the new waves. You know what I mean? I'm all set up. I don't have a home. Doesn't matter if a cyclone comes and wipes out everything here. I'm sweet. All these businesses, they'll be bankrupt. Their lives will be fucked. They might go homeless and not know what to do. I may be homeless, but I know what to do and I fucking look the part. Right? I go to the gym every day. Like, you would think that I've got money and, like, you know, I look like I'm a normal person, except for my hat. But you know what I mean, like I generally, I don't look like a crazy homeless person without this hat. When I put the hat on, I do, I'll admit it. But anyway, so, you know, this, I'm just gonna have a drink. So this is a chance for people like us to make something like this, nutrient water. But let's not make a little average elixir like this. Oh, it's got lycopene in it, it's got some vitamins, great. They've got other flavors. I showed you the guarana one, the ribose. What's my point? Well, this is a really good idea, and it's the way things should be. Things should not be Coca-Cola. It's not the way it should be. So what we have is a big synthetic society, because they're all 3D NPCs and bots. They cannot think for themselves. They're disconnected from their own creation. Remember how I've told you that? And they need to be, so that they can be used by the evil entities. Remember, they are this place. They are the infrastructure of this place as well. They are programs, like the movie The Matrix said. They are literally just programs running on auto. That's why they look like bots all day. But yeah, so for us, you know, it's a big opportunity. As everything gets destroyed, we're already empowered with the knowledge, but it's our chance to seek abundance, right? Bring out the product that you know the way it should be, right? For instance, my tinctures. At some point, I'll make the tinctures here in Australia when I finally get a fucking job in a car. Yeah, so this stuff is very tricky for me, and it'll look like I'm an idiot because I have this AI just hovering over every little move I make and stuffing me up at every little chance it can. It wants to make me look incompetent. I've figured that out now. Like, I'm always thinking, what the fuck is this thing's goal? Because it's not killing me. You know what I mean? I'm still fucking here. It could easily get a car right now to run into me. You know what I mean? The AI could get one of these NPCs to kill you at any time. So it's just trying to make it harder for you. Now, that's for honing, I get it, but I also just think there's an evil part to it, to be honest. Now, that's not this video, we're not going to talk about it now. But that's the part of the stabilization functionality that is in organic portals, as the hive. Remember how I've said so many times there's stabilization functionality? Well, it's not them. Again, like I've said endlessly, it's what's in them and coming through them. And I said in a more recent video, right when I left Uruguay, one of the last videos in Uruguay, I said, you're not talking to these people, you are talking to the AI within these people. You're talking to the spirits within these people. You're not talking to them, you're talking to the ego devils. That's why we've all figured out to just be by ourselves and stop wasting our time. We're just like, fuck it, let's do the indigo evolution. In the id, higher self go. Fuck them. They're on repeat, right? They just wash and rinse and fucking repeat. It's the same shit that they were talking about 20 years ago. What's the footy doing? I don't give a fuck. It's irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant to my life who won the football. Don't care. You know what I mean? Like, so that is the normality I'm talking about, which is going to be shattered. Absolutely shattered. Kaput. Some of this stuff is not going to make it into the future, into the new earth. So everything has to be checked and apocalypted and uncovered to check what parts can be saved, what parts are gross waste and have to, you know, just be put in the bin, not given energy anymore, in other words. So I expect us to be starting to get energy, and it's happening to me. I just want to confirm it because I'm shocked. I've been so beat down that I thought, the abundance, or we had several little abundance cycles and super moons associated with abundance and shit. I was like, where the fuck is all my shit? Where's my fucking money? You know what I mean? I'm talking to the AI like this. I'm talking to God like this. Like, what the fuck is going on? I'm literally talking to God like that, or AI, whatever you want to call it. And now I've realized, it's not his choice. It's the cycle, right? It's all planned. It's all in the cycles. You'll be given what you need, etc. And so I've realized now, as soon as this eschaton cycle stopped, what just happened? I almost got double the donations. Asked for 400, got 700. You know what I mean? So it's already begun. I'm pretty sure, I'm just guessing, yes, but I'm pretty sure this is how it works, because it would make sense. As they go down, finally now, because it's only apocalypse energy, we'll be going up. Because we came down hard with the eschaton. But that coming down hard was, it's a type of death, like the shallow ego death and all that. But it was lessons for us to be able to stand up, to be able to come up. You need that knowledge to maneuver now in the new world to create the abundance. So yes, it was very difficult, and I was swearing a lot at God and so on. But once again, and I thought I would get to this point. I had a suspicion, but it was so intense, I just didn't know if this day would ever come. But now it's come. I can confirm it. I totally see, that it was worth it. You know what I mean? The harsh lessons and stuff. It really was worth it. Because these people have no idea. They have no clue whatsoever. They don't even know about the financial stuff, let alone the apocalypse. You know what I mean? They just laugh at you saying that word. Like, ha ha ha, he thinks it's the apocalypse. Yeah, well, I hope you laughed, because if you're laughing at me, that's a very bad karma. Because I'm Benjamin from Consciousness. I'm like the last person that you would want to laugh at, due to all my hardships, due to my closeness to the cycles, so on. I would hate to be you if you're laughing at me right now. You're gonna get it. And I see this with my enemies continually. So I know that this is gonna happen in a larger cycle sense. These people really are gonna get what they deserve. I know it's hard to believe at this point. It even is for me right now. But I know it now. I know it's true. I've seen, I've doubted myself, right? I still have the human facets. I can still doubt and so on. So I'm not perfect, and yeah, I do doubt. I do talk against God and so on, and so I argue and so on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I really believe this now, and I'm not saying, I've got a belief, but you know what I mean? Like, it's shown to me. It's hard for me not to believe it. I really think they're all going to get what they deserve. Which will be what? Look, I don't want to give examples. It could be that you're a good person, you get mistaken for a criminal, and you wind up in cognate prison and get your whole brain wiped. There, is that a good enough example? Alright, I'm out of here. Remember, it's the apocalypse and people are going to be struggling. Oh wait, it's already happening. Take a look. All you have to do is look around. I mean, the world. Look around the world.